What's going on, everyone? It's Tuesday, November 4th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour, Jacob Gramegna. And we're going to be talking through tons of stuff today. A lot of NFL, NBA futures. Going to be talking to NHL. It's going to be a great, great show. To kick things off, we have Drew Dinsick coming on. He has talked to him about some NFL futures, some awards markets we're going to go through. And then he has 2 NBA division futures, which he likes. I know it's a little early in the season, but hey, now's the best time to fire. Now is the best time to fire. Then up next, Rob is going to come on, break down the market movement for a bunch of games for this Week 10 slate. Seen a lot of under money come in kind of throughout, so we're going to talk about that. Kind of break down what we're seeing here, what we want to keep an eye on for practice reports tomorrow. And then finally, Edgework Overtime. We got So Money, and we got Alex, I believe. Yeah, So Money and Alex joining the show today. Talking through the NHL board, as we normally like to do over on Edgework. I see Rudy in the chat there is talking about our last minute sweat on the BAM night under. That was an incredible one. Also, the Michael Carter unders, Michael Carter overs for some of you worked out for those guys, but for me, didn't work out. Didn't play a snap. Ended up getting voided. Hitman was on the show talking about how he made one of his best bets of the season when he bet Jaden Blue. Was it Jaden Blue unders?
Yeah.
Didn't even dress. My guy dressed, but he didn't even play. So I guess that's like a second best on the Michael Carter stuff. But anyways, it is what it is. Tough sledding. Can't win them all. Were you on anything last night, Jacob?
Just the stuff from the show.
Yeah.
Nothing individually.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was okay day.
Yeah, okay day. Definitely better than our Saturday. So,
Or you had Dallas in Survivor in some of your Survivors?
I had one Dallas Survivor, which was like so stupid, but it's okay. I honestly have to. It's my fault because like I have 11 picks. I have 11 entries left in like a pool that had 35,000 people in it, and now it's dwindled down to like around 3,000. So I'm like, I can't just keep taking the same one or two teams every single week. I got to start creating different paths. Why we chose Dallas, I don't know, but like we were pretty good this week considering we faded Green Bay and Detroit. So like that was our goal, was to fade those 2 teams and then hope for the best. And it ended up working out well. Green Bay, I think 13 to 15% of the pool. So
Yep.
yeah, still above water on the week, but ideally would like that one more.
It happens.
Yeah,
It happens.
I think I talked with Rob. He's going to be doing a circles off episode on like survivor planning late in the season. So I think that'll actually be pretty helpful for someone who has multiple entries. But yeah, anyways, we're going to bring on Drew in just a sec. Before we do, just want to give you a quick shout out to our sponsors, to our friends over at BetStamp. With football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now's the time to lock in BetStamp, the BetStamp Pro prop screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot and scale up edges fast between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, and daily NBA action. Prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever, so the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. And you can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable true line that shows you the real market price in seconds across 150-plus outs, helping you find and hit scalable edges. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer or scan the QR code to apply for a demo. Spots are limited before the season. And I just want to throw this out there. Whenever I prep for the show, make my notes, make my notes, and then if I ever have like a couple minutes before the show, I'm sitting on my computer, I'm scrolling through BetStamp Pro, and I'm firing as much as I can on the board. That's my pre-show routine. Anyways, let's bring on Drew Dinsick right now. He is an NFL, NBA, and a tennis handicapper. He's a betting analyst for NBC Sports, and he co-hosts, the Deep Dive podcast, who had a great Halloween costumes, by the way. Drew, how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. Thoughts and prayers to you, Blue Jays, Toronto people. Don't know how you get over that one. Ultimately, I hope you find solace that you were part of one of the more memorable World Series of all time. But that game on Saturday was something else. I don't know that I've ever seen anything more dramatic, and especially the way that Game 6 and Game 7 played out. That was something.
Yeah, the lodged ball in the wall in Game 6 sticks out to me. And like you're talking about Game 7, the dramatics, the theatrics of it. I forgot about the benches clearing and the brawls breaking. So much happened in Game 7 that I forgot about that. And now that you mention it now, I was just like, oh yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah.
So
I think if you first of all, I have a tough time ranking the top 10 things that happened. Even like just forget about who you're rooting for. Just as a fan of awesome sports, like. The top 10 things that happened in Game 7 were all ridiculous. You could have taken the 10th best of those, and if you have one of those in a World Series, you remember it. And you know that's like the highlight. And here we are in Game 7, and we had just a multitude of them. So really a pretty dramatic exercise altogether, and really enjoyed it.
All right, yeah, no, it was a great time. It was fun, fun while it lasted. I'm a big proponent of, obviously you want to win at the end of the day, but if you don't end up winning, you gotta enjoy the journey. I'm a big journey over destination guy, and I had a ton of fun throughout the whole thing. And you know what, that doesn't work out well in sports. Obviously you want to win, and I know the city would have gone crazy. I think back to this is like a little inside baseball, but round 2 or 3 years ago when the Leafs won their first playoff round in 15 years. City almost shut down. So imagine winning a World Series. Anyways, all right, let's move on. Let's get into some of our bets we have this week. Let's start with the NFL, and then we'll go into some NBA stuff here. You messaged me about a couple teams that you like to win their division. Let's start with the team that just made a trade. First of all, Jacksonville. You like them to win the AFC South. Tell us a little bit about why. It's plus 300 right now at FanDuel. And then also your opinion on the trade, I guess, in terms of this bet, and then in general.
I guess let's start with the kind of mechanics of why bet Jacksonville, why now. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about miss playoffs, and at the time, and they still are, the make odds for the Colts are just assuming that they're just going to continue to truck the rest of the season. Don't look now, but they have the most difficult schedule remaining. And I know that you can say, well, how is that possible? They play in the AFC South. What are you talking about? Their easy part of their schedule is behind them. And granted, they made amazing hay out of that easy part of their schedule. But right now, I'm projecting them to finish third in the AFC as the most likely outcome. Fourth is the second most likely outcome. And I have them missing the playoffs roughly 15% of the time. Now, most of the time they are missing the playoffs, it is because there is just a huge downside with the quarterback position, which is basically saying something happens to Daniel Jones, he gets hurt. But there's also certainly a world where they string together a 9-8 type of season here. And I know that means they only win 2 more games the rest of the way, but they have difficult games remaining against certainly the Jags and the Texans in division, which could hurt them. And then all of their non-divisional opponents are pretty darn difficult the rest of the way here. So if the Colts start to stumble, don't be completely surprised. And I think one of the fun ways to take advantage of that is to shoot for, well, if not them, who in the AFC South. And, there's not a lot to love about the Jaguars. I know their wide receiver position right now really, really depleted because of the injury to
Brian Thomas
Jr. and
De'Ami Brown as
Hunter,
well.
and De'Ami Brown. Basically everybody's hurt. But yeah, Jacoby Myers he can play. Yeah, he absolutely did not get the kind of role in the offense for the Raiders that I thought he was warranted preseason, and I think he fits in nicely with Trevor Lawrence and in general giving him a first read, which has been sort of the key to Lawrence's success this year. He's not a guy that's going to break down your defense and kind of kill you with your with a broken play, second, third read. But if you give him, if you're Cohen and you're drawing up a first read look to Myers, who can get separation against even, all the even good quarterbacks in the NFL, but certainly some of the bad ones, then I think you're going to be able to at least have efficient offense. And, with the balance you have from Etienne supporting the running attack, then Jags basically can, they're kind of the team that I think, if not the Colts, who can stand up in the AFC South and surprise and get in with a 10-win run in here. They have five wins banked. They have the 23rd most difficult schedule remaining on the way in, including some games that should be some true layups. So it's not going to be comfortable or fun or good, but we're swinging for the fences a little bit here, and I don't know what type of prices you guys have available, but for me at least, I would take the Jags at anything better than like 3-1.
Okay, yeah, no, it was 3-1 right when we hopped on the show, but I think someone obviously had the same idea as you, and Jacksonville got clicked down to plus 240. I don't know. I doubt the trade was like the influence of that. Maybe someone saw the trade and wanted to bet Jacksonville and was like, you know what, like people are going to start doing it, so I might as well just click it now. But yeah, plus 240 at FanDuel. But I think there's probably some better prices if you shop around. It was plus 300. Hopefully some people got it off the top of the show. And yeah, I think I echo what you say with the Jacoby Myers trade. Obviously they need receiver depth. They need something. I just feels like you gave up a lot of capital for Travis Hunter. Now Jacoby Myers. It's like, it's a lot for a season that might just be down and out. And of course, when they brought in Travis Hunter, when they traded for Travis Hunter, they didn't know what their season was going to look like. But yeah, felt like it was a lot. But again, like you said, the Colts Jaguars December 7th, Jaguars at Colts December 28th. Big swing there if they can pull off 2 wins. Big swing. And I think it's a big advantage to them that they get the first game at home as well. Daniel Jones could turn into a pumpkin at any point. Now that I guess October is over anyways. All right, let's get over into the next team that you like. It's the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West. I mean, tough loss last week, plus 125 right now to win the AFC West over on FanDuel. Denver Broncos nipping at their heels, plus 130. So things are a little bit close here. Talk us through why you like the Chiefs, especially when the Broncos have such an easy matchup on Thursday.
Yeah, that's actually a huge part of when do you make this bet? And I was going to kind of qualify. Like, I think the Raiders cover on Thursday Night Football. I don't know that they win, but I do think there is certainly scope for the Chargers to lose. And so you kind of have to thread the needle here, I think, and get this bet in post Broncos win, pre Chargers loss. But anything in like the plus 150 or better range, I think is what we're targeting here. Let's assume that the Broncos take care of business against the Raiders on Thursday Night Football. I think we probably wake up on Friday morning and this is like plus 170. And I think that's probably the ideal entry time on the Chiefs. Remaining schedule for them is extremely favorable. They have, in my opinion, the best offense in football going right now with the health and kind of various ways that they can hurt you with the passing attack, expecting that the rush, they get some healthy running backs back off their break here, and expecting that the defense, kind of hardens into the close as opposed to some of the weaker defense we saw from them in the first quarter of the season. So banking a little bit on improvement for the Chiefs defensively. But I think there's a world certainly where they get their left tackle back after the bye here. And I think that in general, Chiefs, I'm projecting to win most likely 12 games, scope for 13. And then kind of cluster of, most of my projections are 11 or 12 for them. Denver, on the other hand, is kind of, largely getting by based on a very, very soft schedule to this point. Things do turn a bit for them where they have remaining games against some challenging opponents, including, the Kansas City game, week 11, where yes, there will be a little bit extra rest for Denver, but Andy Reid coming off of his bye in that contest. The Christmas game decides this. It's at KC right now. I would project KC as 7-point favorites in that game. So I think that's really where we're trying to live in a world where that game decides the division, and we have an opportunity to have stake sweat free KC minus KC money line effectively in a game where they're 7-point favorites.
Yeah, no, that's a great. Love that angle, and also it seems like FanDuel is in agreement with you taking a stand against the market. Market is like, I just shopped around a little bit. It's like plus 110, plus 100 for the Broncos to win the AFC West, and the Chiefs are like plus 150. I'm sure you can find better prices as well on them, but nope. FanDuel takes a stand and says no, we want them at plus 125. We want to make them the favorites to win the division. So maybe don't bet this one at FanDuel. But yeah, it's
bet it anywhere else.
Bet it anywhere else. Listen, like we like to be honest with our audience. We're not going to tell you to bet like a bad number if we feel like it's a bad number. Like FanDuel is a great sponsor, but there's better numbers elsewhere. It's like, happens sometimes.
I guess I agree with their traders.
Yeah.
It's just, it is, I made it the handicap more complicated than it has to be. There's 2 games left. The Broncos are going to be meaningful favorites in both games. I mean, the Chiefs are going to be meaningful favorites against the Broncos in both games.
Yeah.
And there's a 2-game gap between them. So you basically, any time that the Broncos step on a banana peel between now and the end of the season, which is, with Bo Nix behind center, could happen any week. I think, you're gaining equity.
All right. I love it. I'll give you the floor quickly here. I'm going to ask you to break it down in 2 minutes because I want to flip over and talk some of the NBA stuff. I asked you about some awards markets. Offensive Player of the Year. There's a guy 80-1. I asked you about him. His name is Rico Dowdle. You said no. Different guy at 81. You said Josh Allen instead. So break down Josh Allen, why you like him at 81 to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I mean, Rico Dowdle's a fun story, but I honestly expecting him to be able to like if you think Rico Dowdle and the Panthers do enough to warrant consideration for awards, you might as well bet them to win the AFC South. I mean, the NFC South. Their NFC South price is what, like, it's a big number,
5-1
still. I mean, like, he's not winning Offensive Rookie of the Year without them winning that division, and I think you maybe have a little bit of scope for the Panthers win the South, and somebody else wins Offensive Player of the Year. But no, kind of the reason to bet Offensive Player of the Year market at all right now is the same reason that you would take on the Colts. They have a very difficult schedule remaining, and you're hopeful that like the when we're at halfway point of the season. And this goes for basically every awards market, and certainly some of the less in the divisional price markets, less in the futures markets, because there's wins and losses banked matter a lot to the actual math there. But with the awards, it's like, consider the fact that we are halfway through the season and everybody kind of reestablishes what their anchor point is for how good or bad these teams are. Right? Anyone that preseason was like, yeah, the Colts they're okay. Maybe they go 500. Who knows? They're probably like a 6-7 win team, right? I like they're under. Those people have now re-anchored to, the Colts are really good. They're good, right? And if they stumble on the way and lose to the good teams, then the reaction is, I can't believe I got fooled by these guys. I knew they stunk. There's just a human reaction to just bury teams where you've re-anchored your prior mid-season to them being good, and the Colts are the most obvious example of who that could happen to. Patriots, kind of similar story, but the Patriots schedule is so easy that I just don't think we're ever going to see anyone face the music until the playoffs. But boy, is that going to be fun. The Jonathan Taylor Offensive Player of the Year goes to effectively the fantasy football MVP. That's just the way this goes. Seahawks have a difficult road in, so JSN kind of continuing to be, record-setting pace seems unlikely to me. Taylor's going to have some games like Sunday where it's just not a standout performance from him, and people are left scratching their heads. So the door is wide open. The question is who. I look at last year's voting, and I forgot about this. And like, you remember what happened last year, right? Saquon Barkley went for 2,000 plus yards. Like, he was the absolute no doubt shoe-in. Offensive Player of the Year. Lamar Jackson got a lot of first place votes. Like, people are very, very willing to kind of give quarterbacks credit in this market, and I think that's probably the best way to attack as far as value goes. Josh Allen already has 7 touchdowns through the year on the ground. This is the time of the year where they are going to be featured week in, week out, as people are kind of locked in on, is this the Bills' year? And his schedule is relatively soft. They're going to compile wins, and they're going to put up video game numbers. So Josh Allen, kind of in the mix to steal Offensive Player of the Year, should be on your radar. Yeah, no, for sure. 80-1 right now, like we mentioned, over at FanDuel. And like you said there, price.
It's a big one. But yeah, tough sledding for Jonathan Taylor, tough sledding for Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the quarterbacks, it's really, we haven't seen one win, but yeah, they get a lot of votes. They get a lot of first, second place votes there. So if there's really no one that stands out, and also I think it's like a trickle down of the MVP. If it's like they feel like Josh Allen deserves it, but hey, maybe Patrick Mahomes or Drake May is gonna get it, then give them a
consolation prize.
Consolation prize. There it is. Exactly. Let's flip over NBA markets quickly. Let's talk through a couple division futures that you have here. Milwaukee to win the Central right now, plus 500 at FanDuel. Why do you like them? Price dependent, but yeah, Cavs are seem to be the odds-on favorite right now. They look pretty good, but Milwaukee, you like them?
Yeah, the Cavs are a tough one because like they're being priced like a super team, and they're without Darius Garland to this point in the season, and they're still compiling wins. But just kind of watching them, there are a lot of cracks there. I think there is certainly a huge step back for this defense relative to what we saw last year. And to me, Donovan Mitchell looks like he's gotten a year older in a bad way. So I see all of a sudden a manifestation of a big right tail for this Cavs team where they just don't even come close to meeting the expectations of like a 55-60 win team. And on the other side, like I had somewhat muted expectations for the Bucks coming into the season. I would have told you they would probably be the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference when we tipped off play. But Giannis has taken his game up a step. He is currently number one in Darko. His offensive contributions have been unbelievable so far. And I like the supporting cast there. A lot of players that are not name brand stars, but I do think the pieces fit together really well. I think Miles Turner is an upgrade over what he was getting at as far as running mate contributions from Brook Lopez last year. And just in general, I think the Bucks team kind of grades out to me as like a kind of a long-term +4-ish. And Cavs, again, like you're hoping, sadly, you're hoping for Donovan Mitchell knee out for 2 months kind of a situation to open the door here. But the way that he's playing and sort of the history there, I don't think that's crazy. Darius Garland is coming back from a pretty serious foot injury. He had surgery over the summer that was kind of quietly covered. I think there's certainly scope for the trapdoor to open and the Cavs to fall through, and that makes the Bucks, in my opinion, the team to beat in the Central.
All right, Bucks +500, over at FanDuel. Flip over quickly before I let you out here. You like the Lakers to win the Pacific +195 at FanDuel. Slightly ticked down from pre-show. 210 was what I saw available. Warriors +120, so a little bit tighter there. Why do you like the Lakers over the Warriors?
I mean, the karma's good in LA right now. I don't know what to tell you guys. I had some nuclear hot it's Lakers season takes ready to go, and it was 4-2, and it was looking like the Dodgers season was over. But the fact is, it is Lakers season. To me at least, they rate the top team in the Pacific. The Clippers are continuing to get priced by the market like there's some sort of correct sum of the parts, and that's just not the case. Like Kawhi Leonard is taking away from what was good about the offensive two-man game between Harden and Zubac, which go figure. And his defense has slipped dramatically and is being completely overlooked by the market. And then, kind of the poison part of the sauce here for the Clippers is Bradley Beal does not warrant playing time. He is their 10th best player, maybe their 11th best player, and he's getting huge usage, which does not make sense to me at all. He is a huge weak link on their defense. So teams are completely taking them apart in ways that do not kind of warrant the way the market is pricing them. The Lakers, to me, are their second best team after the Warriors, but the Warriors have the same huge right tail problem that the Cavs have, where one injury to Steph and all of a sudden that's like the 25th best offense in the NBA. So to me, at least, the Lakers in and around 2-1, 180 is where I loaded up on them for the Pacific. And a healthy run in from Luka. And I think this team is tickling the 3 seed in the West.
All right. Love it. Appreciate the stuff there, Drew. Like kind of a little bit. Didn't appreciate the shots at Toronto, but you know what? I like you, so it's okay. I'll allow it for now. Hey. But next week, you better be on your best behavior, okay? Anyways, Drew.
All right, you guys. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon. All right, awesome stuff there from Drew. Appreciate that. Great numbers given out there. Love the KC to win the AFC West. Going to be having my FanDuel open post game on when the Denver Broncos play the Las Vegas Raiders, and click. That's what I'm going to be doing. Anyways, speaking of FanDuel, just want to give you a quick shout out to our friends over there. Buckets, buzzer beaters, and your choice of rewards. That's how FanDuel does basketball season. With FanDuel, you can choose your reward, play it your way. Pick what fits your game and take control of how you bet. You can take your shot with a profit boost, play it cool with a no sweat, or get a little backup with a bet back token. Me personally, top down, looking at the market right now. If you like Jordan Poole, nope, never mind. That just moved. If you like Mark Williams of Phoenix or Golden State. Don't know what team he's on, but if you like his unders of 9.5 rebounds, best price in market is over on FanDuel, -132, and you can use your Profit Boost token to get an even better price than the market. So whatever fits your game, the choice is yours. That's what happens when you play on a sportsbook built for your game. However you play, FanDuel is giving you the power to choose your reward. Head to FanDuel.com/forward progress to make your choice an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Chattanooga, Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. Up next, he's a known prankster. He's the CEO of the Hammer Betting Network. Rob, how's it going today?
It's going okay. I was having a great morning. Came on here and Drew's just, just hit me right in the heart again. I thought we were buddies, but he's going to take shots, and still not over it yet.
Yeah.
But you know what? We had some good time on the watch along last night. Very riveting story that Hitman told us about his flag football team. So I'm in pretty good spirits.
Yeah, sorry, you were muted that whole time. We couldn't hear you, neither could the chat. So, anyways, a little inside baseball there. But yeah, what's going on with the? You got. You're listening. You're the CEO of this company. You got to hold things down a little bit. We got guests coming on, disrespecting us from LA, wearing their gear. All this. Brad Powers yesterday, Drew today. What's up now? What's going on? Well, we got to run a tighter ship.
I gotta tell you, of all people that I would have never expected to rub it in would be Brad Powers. Brad Powers is behind the scenes the nicest guy. He just keeps to himself, does his thing, never had any issues. Guy shows up wearing all Dodgers gear for Hit the Books yesterday.
Disgusting.
It would be, if he had done it before, I'd get it. But the rubbing the salt in the wounds. And, Kanish there too, just pouring a little bit of gasoline on the fire. These guys, not my kind of guys.
Neither for me, but also, what bothered me the most about all this is Kanish had World Series tickets on the Jays, and he's like, "What are you doing, Kanish? Come on, you could have came out big, just like all of us, been nice and happy, but nope, is you just rather troll instead." Anyways, let's get into the segment today. Going to be looking at some market movement, starting with the Thursday night football game. Las Vegas caught a little bit of money here. Opened at 9.5, comes through at around 8.5 right now. Slight juice towards Denver still. We've seen some over money come in as well on this game, moving from 41.5 to 42.5-ish, about even around the board. Seeing a 43 pop as well. Talk us through the movement in this game, and also I guess the Jacoby Myers trade that happened. Maybe we can talk through that as well.
Yeah, so I think ultimately there's going to be some split opinions on this game. There's a lot of trends that support betting Denver here, or at least one big one that people are referencing, which is in relation to the Raiders having played overtime on Sunday and now having a short week. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not sure that playing another 10 plays on both sides of the ball is really going to impact a team all that much, but there are some historical things that point in that direction. With regards to the Raiders' early money, I talked with Clive about this on Sunday night, and my hesitation with betting the Raiders was the potential of a Jacoby Myers trade. Ends up happening. We'll see if there's any sort of buyback on Denver. But if you look at the injury reports released for each team yesterday, Denver's was just an estimated report. They didn't actually practice, but they just list who would have practiced, who wouldn't have practiced. There's 6 starters on defense that would have been a DNP or limited. DJ Jones, Jonathan Cooper, John Franklin Myers, Patrick Surtain, Riley Moss, and Brandon Jones. So whenever you see something like that, it's a little bit concerning. And if you look at the market movement in that game, it seems pretty much, tied to that injury report coming out. So someone taking an early stance that maybe Denver's defense is not healthy here. And for that same reason, you get a little bit of money on the over. But I have no idea where this one is going to settle. I do think that there's going to be interest in like the sharp sphere on both sides in this game, and potentially the over and the under. On the Jacoby Myers front, totally makes sense for Las Vegas to move him. In my opinion, I don't know what Jacksonville is doing. I'm very confused with the Jags, because I look at the AFC, you look at the market, I think that there's very, very clearly like 8 or 9 teams that are better than Jacksonville. You can say, yeah, they're 5-3, they're favored to make the playoffs. Trading a 4th and a 6th, the better of their 4th round picks and a 6th for an expiring contract, in my opinion, is really bad business, especially when you have very, very little chance to win this year. Like, I don't really get it. I understand that they are depleted at wide receiver. I completely get that, and they're looking for solutions, but just feels like too much to give up for the state of the franchise as it is right now, Jay.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. You almost mitigate the great deal you made early on the season, like with the Tank Bigsby trade, where you got like a 5th and a 6th from the Eagles for a guy who just wasn't going to play for you, and then you just completely mitigate it. The only thing that would like make sense for me, but also just don't even think it's a good idea, but I could rationalize it, is if they maybe try and trade Brian Thomas and get like a haul for him, but it just seems like that's all backwards. You made the trade up to get Travis Hunter, so now your response after one bad season from Brian Thomas is to trade him away, and maybe it gives, I don't know.
But also, like, Brian Thomas right now, his value is at the lowest that it can be. He's had a bad season. He's playing through injury. Everyone knows that. I mean, this would be the absolute worst time to trade Brian Thomas, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I just don't know. Like, James Gladstone, young GM, and he came at the Travis Hunter trade at the draft. He kind of had that speech that irked me a little bit. Like, he's supremely confident, and you want that out of your GM as well. Mm-hmm. But so far, even the Tyson Campbell, Greg Newsome swap, I wasn't a big fan of that. Mm-hmm. I'm not impressed, honestly, with Gladstone. And I think the Jags, as an organization right now, maybe they found the right head coach in Liam Cohen, but I think that they're years away from being like a true competitor in the AFC.
Yeah. Again, Travis Hunter, the Jacoby Myers trade, a little bit of a head scratcher. Even if they do, I guess, competing. I think something I undervalue oftentimes with the NFL is that, like, even if you can't compete for a Super Bowl, like, competing for a playoff, like, just to play in the playoffs is like sometimes value to an organization, right? Obviously, the most important thing is to win the Super Bowl, and the best way to do that is, we know the best way to do that, but sometimes a team or a fan base will just value a playoff game. So
it's very unlikely they'll get a home playoff game.
Yeah,
the Colts are pretty big favorites to win the division. You never say never, but just look at the betting market this week. I mean, they're underdogs to like 75% chance Davis Mills plays, maybe even higher than that. Yeah. That tells you all you need to know about where the Jags are ranked in the AFC. And like, look, a lot of people, the AFC is weak this year. I mean, maybe the top teams are weaker than they've been in the past. I don't think the conference as a whole is weak. There's a lot of teams that could go to the Super Bowl. You have Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Indy's viable, New England is viable. Denver and the Chargers have outside shots. And the market is pricing like Houston and Jags as equals right now, with the backup quarterback for Houston likely to play. I really don't understand it. I mean, I get that you are trying to address a position of need. I just think that this is a big overspend for Jacksonville. And I mean, listen, I'm not a GM in the NFL, and James Gladstone is, but I wouldn't have pulled the trigger on this one.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. All right, let's move on to the next game we have. Indianapolis at home to the Falcons. Colts are like the hottest team in market for the past couple of weeks, deservedly so. They look really good, but kind of come back down to earth, cooled down a little bit after like a kind of anomaly 6 turnover game. But is that an anomaly, or is that Daniel Jones just turning back into a pumpkin? This game, I think, look-aheads were at around like a flat 7. Has now come in, bet all the way down since open to around 5.5 right now. Do you agree with this market move on Indianapolis, kind of downgrading them a bit after what we saw last week?
Yeah, so it's important to remember this is a neutral site game, right? This one's in Berlin, so you don't have a built-in home field advantage for Indianapolis. And again, this is another one me and Clive went through on Sunday night, and we talked through Atlanta plus 6.5 in this game. And it's not because I don't believe in Indy, which I do. I don't listen, 6 turnovers in a game. Daniel Jones has had a penchant to do this over his career, so you never know. I don't feel like this is going to be a recurring thing necessarily moving forward, but Atlanta got a little bit healthier last week on the defensive side of the ball. Jalen Walker came back to the lineup. Jesse Bates didn't miss a game. They just harassed Drake May for a lot of that second half. In the early going, New England was moving the ball, but as the game wore on, the Falcons defense really stepped up to the level that we saw them at earlier on in the year. I just think it's too many points. And I agree with the market move here. Now we've settled at 5.5. That, we've gone through 6. There's probably very little value to be extracted, but I think a lot of people were seeing the same thing that I did here, which was, not necessarily that Indy is a bad team or like they're going forwards, proceed with caution. It's just like, this is neutral field game. 6.5 points between these two teams felt like too much.
All right. Let's move on to the next game we have here. It is the Jacksonville taking on Houston. Game caught a little bit of under money here. Obviously, again, the other side of the Jacoby Myers trade. Doubt it affects the spread that much, but cluster injury, you're inputting a wide receiver who, is going to play for them, where they would probably have 3 wide receiver injuries here. Total right now is at 38.5, incredibly low. Thoughts on it here?
Yeah, so when this one opened on Sunday night, I really, really wanted the under in this game, was hoping for a higher number, something that started with a 4, but definitely not a surprise that the under's taking money when you just look at how this game breaks down. The cluster receiver injuries for the Jags are a lot, right? It's not only Brian Thomas Jr. and De'Ami Brown who left this past week, but they were without Travis Hunter, Tim Patrick the week before. It's a pretty depleted receiving core. And Houston on the back end is very solid in the cornerback room. So you struggle to see how the Jags are going to move the ball consistently through the air. On the Houston side, you have a possibility of Davis Mills starting. I would say, a higher probability than 50%. You lose offensive linemen last week in Titus Howard, the right tackle, Ed Ingram, the right guard as well. I mean, these two teams already struggle offensively, and now you take players out of the picture and totally understand why the move goes towards the under. Another thing to keep an eye on here is Devin Lloyd, middle linebacker for the Jags. He got 3 limited practices in last week, so he's potentially returning as well. That would be a big boost to the Jags defense. So no surprise at all here. I don't even really know where the market interest is going to come on the over in this game. But with that said, Houston-Denver drew some over money last week, so maybe we see some over money later in the week.
All right. Maybe some over money later in the week. Again, pretty low total here for this game. Let's talk Baltimore, Minnesota. Vikings coming off a pretty big upset win within their division to the Detroit Lions. J.J. McCarthy looks a lot better than I think people expected. But also looking at the box score, maybe he didn't look that great. I don't know. Still don't know what to make of him. We'll see this week, though. Baltimore is catching some money on this game, as well as the over in this game. Talk us through this one here.
Yeah, so I watched Minnesota-Detroit this morning. J.J. McCarthy looked he looked better than the box score.
Yeah.
So I was trying to determine, you see 14 of 25, touchdown, interception. I will say not a lot of stuff downfield. Still seems like a little bit of a conservative offense to me overall, but I thought he was fine. Ultimately, though, I think that this is like the market starting to buy the Ravens. Yeah. And that makes a lot of sense. They got fully healthy, essentially. Extra rest going into this week. They traded for Draymond Jones yesterday, someone who's going to really help them on the defensive line. And it's starting to feel like the Ravens that we expected earlier on in the year. And if you go back to the way that Baltimore was being rated in market, week 1, 2, 3, and you just kind of apply that rating to what Minnesota is now, you can get a lot of instances where Baltimore is a 4, 4.5, 5-point favorite in the game. So I think this is more of a buy on Minnesota from the market. Yeah. Baltimore from the market, if I had to guess. And I agree with him. My numbers make this roughly even a little bit higher than where it is right now. So totally get it. But interesting game for sure, because Minnesota's defense back on track with Van Ginkel last week as well.
All right, let's talk through this last game here before I have to let you out. The Chicago Bears, New York Giants game, and talk us through we've seen under money come in. Talk us through how you approach this, because I feel like that has a lot to do with the potential weather situation that might be happening out there. I know that the weather's supposed to be not great, but it is, again, only Tuesday. So talk us through how you kind of navigate that.
The weather doesn't look too bad as of right now. Like, we're looking 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. That's like just an average November Chicago day. I'm kind of surprised that this drew under money. I think one way to rationalize it is that maybe the Giants offense is just not as good as we think that they are. And as time has gone on here, we're kind of catching up to Jackson Dart on like having multiple games and things of that nature. Plus, on the offensive line, they lost their center, John Michael Schmitz. Their right tackle, Jermaine Illuminor, didn't play last week. The issue I have is that I don't think that actually matters against Chicago. Like, the Chicago defensive front is really bad. I would expect that if the weather report stays clear like it is now, that there will be some over money in this game. You look at San Fran and the Giants last week, it was a lot of over money during the week. Eventually, at game time, got bought down a little bit. Chicago, Cincy, despite the fact that we had the Bengals, Joe Flacco, throwing shoulder injury, there wasn't much of a move down towards the total. So I don't know. I don't want to say I don't get this one. There's some factors where I think somebody might process them and say, yeah, bet the under, but I have a feeling we're going to catch some over money later in the week. And backstage, I see my good friend So Money with the sign that says, "Love you, Rob." Right back at you, So Money. It's been too long, my man. Hope everything's good on your end.
All right. Sounds good. That wraps it up for today. If you want to stick around for Edric, you're more than welcome to, but I don't think has it been 3 weeks in the NHL season? Have you started betting at NHL stuff, or is it like coming up soon?
I'm going to be honest with you. This is the honest to God truth. I haven't made an NHL bet yet this year on a side or a total. And NFL is actually going so well that I might not even start up the NHL at some point. Maybe that'll change when I get absolutely nuked this week on Week 10 NFL, because I can feel it coming. But at this point, I'm in a very good zone with NFL. I'm spending a lot of time on it. And I have no appetite to get that fired up at this point, because it'll take a lot of work to get the NHL stuff going. But we'll see. Never say my mood might change at the end of this week. So, but yeah, we're like a month in now. So,
yeah. All right. Vibes are high. No NHL. That's all right. We have you for NFL stuff regardless. Rob, appreciate you joining the show. We'll talk soon.
Right. Later, Jay.
Awesome stuff there. All right. Before we get into our next guest here, just a quick reminder. Next two guests. Edgers in the chat. Let's see those fists. Hands in the air. Before we get into our next two guests, Alex and So Money, let's talk through our Tuesday Best Bet show, because it's live tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern time, over on Forward Progress. And the best way, who's on it? It's George. It's
George and Flup today.
Flup and no Suma.
No Judah, and I think it's just going to be, I think it's just George and Flup today.
G-Stack and Flup. All right, yeah. That's all right. 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress HQ YouTube channel. You're going to want to go check that out. They break down every single game on the entire board, giving out their triple, double, and single hammer, 3 favorite bets of this week, of this early week. And the show's been doing pretty well.
Yeah,
so
I say just not disrespectfully. The show's going well. Good vibes, good information. You know, you get Flup's injury expertise. He knows about all the inside injury info in the NFL. It's a good combo.
Yeah.
And checking it out at 5. Link in the description.
There you go. And you said just because normally there's 3 guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So
last week was TA, but couldn't get him.
Couldn't get him this week. All right. I'm going to need you to do me a favor. I'm going to need you to pull up the FanDuel odds for me right on this screen in front of me. And then we're going to bring on Alex and So Money. You know him. You love him. I don't even know how to introduce him. I always try to come up with something clever every week. I guess we're like kind of dejected, sad, depressed fans of the Toronto Blue Jays after what happened on Saturday. So Money's doing like his little head movement there. It's all right. It's all right. I know these guys won't troll me about the Blue Jays. How's it going, my friends?
No trolling here. No trolling here.
Yeah, that was rough. You can talk shit while things are going on, while the series are going on, but when it's over, regardless of the fan base, I never say anything.
Yeah, I agree.
My biggest concern is that the Jays were supposed to have the Somo Mojo, and it didn't work. So I'm scared the Somo Mojo is just wearing off, and we need to do something about that here.
To be fair, right? the messages that were sent were that the Blue Jays are going to the World Series.
That's true.
Fair.
That's true.
All right.
All right. We're back.
Okay, so reports of the Somo Mojo being Nomo are false. Still
false.
there. They're still there. All right. How do you guys want to do this? I guess before we get into things, chat was asking us about some futures. If you like anything on the future board, Alex or so many, I'll give you guys the floor to kind of talk through it. And yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Go ahead.
So many first, yeah.
Yeah. Besides the ones that we talked about on the show, with McClellan winning the Jack Adams, I haven't added anything else.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not something that I've looked at, but reminds me I should probably get on it.
That's all right. Chat was asking, so I had to ask for the chat. Alex, you like anything? I know you were going to say something there, but you're kind of in the same boat. It's only been a month since we had our Edgework extravaganza where we talked about all the futures there. Anything you like that's changed, or is it just the same echoing here from So Money? Whatever we had before is kind of what we're sticking with.
I actually did bet something yesterday. I bet Lightning to win the division, the Atlantic, like plus 180-ish, plus 185, depending. I think plus 175 right now. I think on FanDuel. I'm just looking. I think that's really good. I think the gap between them and Florida isn't huge at all, but with the injuries Florida's dealing with, it becomes a lot more significant. And also Florida, we've seen from them in years past, like the emphasis is not on the regular season, and nor should it be for them. It does not need to be. They don't need to win games right now. That's not what's important to them. I think it's a little bit more important to Tampa right now, just given how the last couple of years have unfolded. But I think the gap between them and Florida is there. But the gap between them and Toronto, who was obviously won last year, is like, I don't want to say massive because it's not massive, but it is a significant gulf in class between those two teams. And I really don't see anyone challenging Tampa in this division long term. So plus 175 still, I think, really good. I know the question said no Canadians futures, but I keep clicking Demidov Calder. I keep clicking it. I am overexposed. Doesn't even begin to do it justice right now. I don't know. We'll see. Could be sleeping in So Money's basement come April. We'll find out. But I am very, very invested in Demidov Calder.
All right. We brought you guys on at probably the worst time because I'm getting word right now that Sauce Gardner has just been traded to the Indianapolis Colts, which is
oh wow.
Yeah, pretty big one. Do you guys have any opinions, any input there? I don't know what he was traded for, but yeah.
2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks.
Wow.
That's too much.
Yeah, two first-round picks.
That's way too much. Wait, what?
Good
Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
That's putting a lot of faith in Daniel Jones. It's tough. Like I get it from your like the Colts perspective, where you're there and you're having a great season and everything's kind of going right. Steichen's been awesome, but like you're still starting Daniel Jones in a conference that has Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Tough. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like Jamal Adams all over again. So Money, what do you think? Any opinion?
I think it's steep. I think two first rounders. It's quite a lot to give up. But I would say if you feel that you're close, doesn't matter. You just go for it.
Fair. And I believe he maybe has 2 or 1 more year left on his rookie contract. I don't remember. But also I've stripped him of the name Sauce. He is still Ahmad until he actually puts together a good season, which he hasn't really done until since his rookie season. So Ahmad Gardner, 2 first-round picks. Maybe he'll be Sauce soon. All right. Also curious to hear what
name, though. Great name.
Yeah, great. It's his real name's Ahmad. His nickname is Sauce. And I'm labeling Ahmad until he's good again. Like you can't call yourself Sauce if you haven't been good recently. Like maybe that's a hot take. Anyways, let's get into the board. Also curious to hear what the chat has to say. Alex, I'll let you start things off. And we're going to go kind of out of order here. I'll let you pick your favorite game on the board that you want to talk about. And then just talk us through it. I'll let you take the lead.
Favorite game on the board. It's tough. A lot of prices have moved. I mean, if you're going to give me a chance to talk about the Habs, though, I'm just going to talk about
all right. So Money next. No, I'm kidding.
You may be surprised to learn, though, that I actually did not bet on the Habs tonight. I bet the other way here. And I don't. It's not my favorite play on the board. I'll put it that way. I really like the under in this game, which I think 5.5 plus 105 is still there. There's 6 minus 120s that are still there. I think those are still good. That might be my favorite play left on the board. Maybe. But I do like that. I did bet an under here, and I also bet a side which is the Flyers. That's why I'll kind of lead with this one. I don't know. I think I'm still just maybe a little too high on this Flyers team. But I like to back them at these bigger prices where like they are playing some really tight games, and that makes them kind of attractive when they have these big plus signs in front of them. It does not make it fun to bet them when they're like minus 150, minus 160 against like the Penguins and stuff of the world. But they're playing very low event hockey. It's kind of like type of games where like one bounce at either end can kind of swing things. And that, that makes me a little bit more inclined to bet them at these numbers. The Habs going with Montebo again, they're saving Dobish for Thursday's game against the Devils. I'm not going to really put down the Habs in any way because A, I love them, and B, I don't think there's anything to really put down about them. They're playing fantastic. Even against the Sens the other night, it looked like maybe a tougher spot for them. They came out and, I know they needed a late goal in overtime to win that game, but they were the better team throughout that entire game. Some fluky goals the Sens scored to even get it to overtime. They are just continuing to answer the bell, but I think we're getting out to some bigger numbers here, and I think Philly struggling to win games right now, but they're not struggling to play well. Bounces are coming. I don't really like what I've seen from Montebo. Even again the other night, he did not look sharp. So I think a little bit of value with the Flyers here, and I really like this under.
All right, we like the under in this one, and you said Flyers money line as well. So money, echoing the same sentiment in this Flyers Habs game, or you taking the opposite side? You're taking a stand against Moretto and betting on his Habs.
No, not in this case. So, it's I do echo the sentiments as a whole. I am worried about Montebo. I think that his play hasn't been up to par, especially with what he's shown that he can do last year. So, so that's the reason why I'm not playing the under. I do like the Flyers. I do like I do like it at the current numbers. As Alex mentioned, I think that they've been fine. They just haven't been getting the results. And I think that as Alex mentioned, as we get into these bigger numbers now, I think that that's where the value on the Flyers comes in. So I'm in agreement on the Flyers. I agree with the sentiment on the under, but I won't be betting it because of Montebo.
All right. You agree with the sentiment, like the under there. Let's flip over something. I'm going to ask you the same question here. I'm trying to change things up, right? I don't want to make edge work stale. I want to keep things fresh, keep things fun, keep things flirty. What do you like in terms of the board today? Give me your favorite game and tell me why you like it.
So sorry. you just said flirty and that threw me off.
Yeah, sorry.
My favorite play is the Rangers. It's actually I think the next game that we were going to discuss, right? So I played the Rangers. If you can still get some plus money, I like that. I think that they should be the favorite in this game. I like them to minus 110. I've talked about them a lot. They're a team that I had circled as a team that I want to play quite a bit. And they got off to a difficult start, but we also mentioned that it takes a while sometimes to get to get acclimated to what Sullivan wants to do defensively. He doesn't play simple defensive systems, and sometimes it takes a while to for the players to adjust to that. And I think what we're seeing from the Rangers is they are adjusting to it. They do have the talent to not go on. I mean, I shouldn't say they have the talent to score consistently, but they have enough talent to not be as inconsistent as they have been, right? And I think that this is a team that's starting to come together now. They're starting to get it. So I do like the Rangers quite a bit. I did bet them to win the division earlier in the season, and I think that this is a team that I really like the Rangers, and I hate to say it, but it's just the way it is.
Albert's not here. We're allowed to say it right now. He's not here. When he's here,
can't say it. All right.
And I was at the preseason game, so they've been blessed as well.
All right.
Wow.
By the Somo Mojo. Rangers right now, -102 over at FanDuel. Good to -110, so money said. Alex, do you agree with the sentiment? Do you echo the New York Rangers here now that since Albert's not here?
Yeah, we're echoing everything here. 13-1 to win the division. I was looking at that. I didn't fire and I didn't talk about that at the start of the show because I really was like, once I saw the question in the chat, I was looking at it. I'm like, man, I really want to get in on that. I don't want that to move too much. I think that's a really good number right now too. But I did bet the Rangers. The reason I didn't lead off with that game is when you asked me to pick a game, I was like, I looked and there was no plus money anywhere left. So I was kind of like, so I kind of just like left it for now. I still do like it at this current numbers, though. I obviously bet it at a bit of a bigger price. But yeah, this is a Rangers team I wrote about it yesterday too. Like a Rangers team, I really, really like the way they're playing right now. And I think this is just like Carolina's going to be fine. Carolina's a really good team. Obviously, they're not playing that well right now. The underlying numbers look nothing like what we're used to seeing from them. But like, you look at the injuries they're dealing with. Obviously, I mean, Slavin, Keandre Miller, Gostisbehere, like that's 3 of your top 60, 2 of your top 3. I mean, you're obviously going to be struggling when you're missing. We have a cluster injury like that on the blue line. So I don't think there's any reason to panic on Carolina, but I am very much looking to fade them while they are this significantly banged up, especially against the Rangers team that's played really well and finally starting to get the results. We're obviously getting the Shesterkin start here. And I know there's some things that are like, I'm not a trends guy, but like the Rangers do just play Carolina really well. Stylistically, they just seem to match up quite well with them. They always have, this dating back like 3-4 years now. Obviously, coaches have changed since then. Brendan Moore's still there, but obviously Sullivan there now in New York. But like Sullivan's an upgrade on coach, and I think they're built to beat this team. So I like the Rangers quite a bit tonight.
All right, Rangers -102, like we talked about. Let's get into our next game that we have on the board. We're going to hit it more rapid style this time. I'll let you guys talk about your favorite games, get everything out that you wanted to talk about there. Up next, we have the Boston Bruins taking on the New York Islanders. Boston Bruins in absolute shambles this season. Alex, we'll start with you. Talk us through this game if you like anything.
Yeah, we got this game last week in Boston, and the Bruins were on a back-to-back, and they had Korpisalo, and I still bet the Bruins. We won that one. It was pretty much a coin flip game, but the Bruins were able to win it at a good plus price. We're getting a bigger number now. I understand that the venue has switched, and they are now on the road, but like they're also not on a back-to-back, and they have Swayman in net, not Korpisalo. So I think this has just gone too far at this point. Plus 144 as high as that I'm seeing. I still liked it at like plus 135s earlier on, but I figured, Isles have been taking money quite a bit lately by the market, which I really can't figure out. I don't think this Isles team is very good. They're pretty volatile. They do lack a lot of consistency. They're able to reach a higher level, but they also don't reach that very often. And they spend so much time near like the lower end of their range. And it makes me think that that's maybe their baseline. So I just don't love this team. I don't love their lack of consistency, and the Bruins are kind of figuring things out on the back end. This is what we expected from them. They're a team built on good defense and good goaltending. I think that lends them to a little bit more consistency than this Isles team. So at these big prices, I'll take a stab here with the Bruins again.
Yeah, smaller range of outcomes for the Bruins in any given game versus the Islanders, which is just like anywhere to floor to ceiling, just all over the place. So money echoing the same sentiment here, or are you going to take a stand against Alex?
This is the problem with Alex. He's so we just agree. I agree. I'm on the Bruins as well. Basically everything Alex mentioned, except the only thing that I'll say is that I don't even think the Bruins are playing poorly right now. The last couple of games they've gotten results, and within those results, I guess besides the Buffalo game, of course I was on the Sabres there. But that's the only game that I didn't feel that the Bruins played well. They had Korpisalo in net too. So, Swayman back in net. There's no reason for this big of a number on the New York Islanders right now. That's a team that's still leaky defensively. I guess we're waiting for Sorokin to show some consistency. I'm looking at his chart right now, and I mean, we know his potential, but he just hasn't been consistent in his performance this year. So I think that It's just too big of a number on the Bruins right now.
All right, too big of a number on the Bruins. Plus 134 at FanDuel. Maybe you can get it at a better price, though, if you wait towards closer to game time here, because like you said, Alex, New York Islanders have been taking some money closer to game time. Up next, Mammoth taking on the Sabres. Sabres are at home, but they are plus 116, it looks like, on the money line here. Total's at 6.5, juiced under. So money, I'll let you lead anything you like in this game.
Yeah, so I've been betting Utah overs, but this is not a situation that I want to bet that at, because reason being is that it's at 6.5 now, right? So like, how much more do you want to make it for there to be an edge there? So unfortunately, I think the Utah overs are done for now. And even though I like this Buffalo team, it's not something I can do right now. So I think that this is a game that Buffalo makes sense at home at the number, but I need to see something more consistent from them before I can get in there. So I will end up passing here as well.
All right, passing it. Alex, Mammoth, Sabres at home. Like anything here?
No, kind of feel the same way as So Money in that, not just that we've seen an adjustment to 6.5, but I do think the Sabres are more of an under team than we've seen so far. They're playing pretty good defensively. They're not generating a ton. Their games are ending 4-3 seemingly every single night, but like they're not playing really high event hockey here. So not a spot I want to bet it over. You'd think that, I'd want to get it on the Sabres here because I do like this team, but like we're just not seeing them be at the level they should be at consistently enough. You see them kind of hit that in games where they look great and they look like this team that's going to compete for the playoffs and be right there. And then there's just like, then they go the next 3 games and they're just kind of like, I need to see more from them. So nothing for me in this game. I will sit it out and that's it.
All right. Up next, we have the Oilers taking on the Stars. Jacob, I also need you to be on duty here. If there's another trade, I need you to let me know because it's starting to get to that time where there might be some more filtering in. Anyways, Oilers, Stars, Stars favorites at home, minus 126 right now on the money line. Totals at 5.5, juiced towards that over here. I let So Money start with this one. Alex, I'll give it to you. Talk us through this.
Rashid Shaheed was traded, by the way.
Oh my God.
To Seattle.
Come on.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a great ad for Seattle. I love that. Not true?
I didn't see that one. No, I didn't see that one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's 100% true. I'm not spitting fake news here. Come on.
Listen. Like I like you guys. I like you and George especially, but I question your media literacy
integrity?
and tech ability. So maybe George is more than yours, but anyways.
My tech ability is completely fair. So Edmonton, Dallas. I didn't bet anything in this game. Edmonton's taking a little bit of money and the under's taking a little bit of money. I kind of leaned both ways there. Maybe too chicken to get in front of Dallas right now and bet Edmonton. I really did want to bet Edmonton. I don't know. Dallas just not seeing anything good from them right now. Like they got to figure it out in a hurry because like you're like, oh, well, it's Dallas. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm sure they're going to be fine. But like at what point do we see them start playing like actual hockey here? Because it's been so ugly from them. Obviously a tougher road trip over the weekend though, like at Tampa, at Florida. But it's not going to get that much easier here against Edmonton. Granted, they're at home, Edmonton on a back-to-back, so it's a bit of a decent spot. But not seeing the best things from Edmonton right now either. They look like they were turning it on again and getting going, but they've kind of hit a little bit of a lull here. So, nothing for me in this game. I just kind of want a wait and see for both of these teams still right now.
All right, need to see a little bit more of them over the next couple of games here for Alex. So Money, are you going to tell me that you're in agreement again?
I'm not waiting and I'm not seeing. Okay. I did bet the Oilers. I like them anything plus money right now. I do agree with Alex in terms of his assessment of Dallas. I think that we talked about this last week. They're not showing much right now, and I think they'll be fine as the year goes on. But until we're able to actually see that, that's not a team that I want to be betting on. Oilers, granted, they're on a back-to-back. We know that it's already in the number though, right? So based on the way that these two teams are playing, as well as we're getting Casey DeSmith in goal tonight as well. So I did bet the Oilers, still like them at the current number. And I think that both these teams are similar in the sense that we're waiting to for them to show us some consistency. But I think the Oilers are further along in that process right now.
All right. Oilers plus 105 over at FanDuel. Predators. We are all Predators in our community, taking on the Wild. Wild are favorites here at home. So Money, you're up next. Talk us through this game. You like anything here?
I don't. I think that this is a massive number on the Wild here, based on what they've shown us this year and what they've shown us recently. But Nashville, I watched them last night. I understand it's against the Canucks, but they did look they did look decent, and there were many points in that game last night where they could have packed it in and just called it, and they didn't. So I give them credit for that. Going to Minnesota here on a back-to-back, I think that it might be a tough situation for them, but it's already been accounted for in the line. So, and I would have wanted a flat 6 to consider an over here, but I'm just not interested in either team right now.
All right, 6.5 right now, juice towards the under. So like a little bit juice towards the over there on the 6. If you're looking for that, maybe it'll come down closer to game time. We were Preds a couple of years ago, but I guess we're not Predators this year at all. Alex, how are you feeling?
Yeah, we're definitely not Predators. Although I will say, I said this team was horrible, bordering on like San Jose levels of last year, and they have looked a little bit better in their last few games. I will give them a little bit of credit here. I still don't think they're good. I still think they're bad, but like they have been a little bit better. Really do struggle to generate goals. And the Wild, I do think, are going to become an under team at one point. So like stylistically, I would think this would be an under game, but like still haven't seen it from the Wild. I do think Nashville on a back-to-back on the road here. Like this is a game that Minnesota typically would in the past just suffocate Nashville, give them nothing. Nashville struggles to generate as is, and this is like a 3-1, 4-1 type of Wild win where I'd like to get on an under, but just haven't seen the Wild be able to get to that level defensively yet so far. It's been kind of ugly, so just going to sit it out.
All right, sitting this one out. Let's move over to our next game, Tampa Bay Lightning, who, Alex, off the top, you talked about it. You're a little bit high on compared to the market here for their future price to win their division. But facing off the Avs, Avs at home, minus 150 favorites here. Totals at 6.5, juice towards the under. Alex, do you like Tampa Bay as well in this game, or are you sitting this one out?
I mean, I don't. This is about the only team in the NHL where the Lightning could be, plus 130, and I'm not betting them. I lean that way for sure, but I like the total in this game instead. I bet the under. The way Tampa's going to have to win this game is to just keep playing their like suffocating defensive style. They're giving up so little right now. Obviously, this is a big step up, and the Avs are very well equipped in that manner offensively, but Avs playing some very good defense themselves. I think this is one of those games that's just going to be a lot of hype for, but it turns out to be, and it's still, I mean, that's just because it's going to be a bit more of a defensive game, in my opinion. It doesn't mean it's not going to be a great game to watch, but I think we're going to see both defenses really shine. I think they neither of them get enough credit for what they can do defensively because of all the star power they have offensively with the Kucherovs and, even Makar and McKinnon and all those guys. But both teams playing really, really good defensive hockey right now, and I think this is going to be a very tight game that I bet the under 6. I bet it at plus money, which is not really there anymore, but like I think up to minus 105 is widely available. Minus 102 at FanDuel looks like the best price in market right now too. So I'm good with that. If you have to get a minus 105, I think that's okay as well.
All right, let's ask So Money if he agrees with this one or not. If he likes the Avs or the Lightning here. So Money, break it down for us.
Yeah, I agree. I'm on the under as well. Bets the top two teams in the league, in my opinion. Right. And they're both playing very well. I don't care about Colorado's loss to San Jose. That was a game where, I mean, whatever, like shit happens, right? And like that was Blackwood's first game back as well. And like he struggled a bit there. So That's one of those games where I just throw it away. It really doesn't matter because they played the exact same way that they've been playing heading into that game. So there's nothing I'm seeing from either team that makes me think that they're not going to play as well. In terms of line composition, Colorado at home, you need to install them as a favorite. You can make a case that maybe it's a little bit too much of a favorite, but it's not enough for me to show enough of an edge on Tampa Bay to make that play. So while I lean Tampa Bay, I think that the line is fair. I think where we do have an edge is where I agree with Alex in the sense that both of these teams, when they're on their game, it actually starts defensively, and like they're both playing very, very good defensively right now. And there's no reason for me to think that that's not going to continue. So I do agree with Alex. I'm on this under as well.
All right, we're looking at the under there. If you can get a 6, I think you said minus 105-ish, Alex. That's the number you're looking for in this game? All right, let's flip over and talk.
Although, I mean, why bet minus 105 when show sponsored FanDuel is minus 102?
Sorry, minus
right?
102. Yes. Sorry about that. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Just wanted to get the good 2 price for the chat.
Yes,
if you want to bet it right now, then you should be betting it over at FanDuel. Company man, Alex is. I'll tell you that for free. Detroit Red Wings right now taking on the Vegas Golden Knights. Total right now is at 6.5, juice towards the under. Vegas favorites in this game by a whopping minus 192 on the money line. So money, we'll start with you. Who do you like in this game?
So I've been high on Detroit. There's no secret there. I like this Detroit team a lot. I like the way that they're coming together. And Jack Adams winner Todd McClellan has got that team in a good spot. But this is going to be a measuring stick game here for Detroit. Vegas. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a tough game for Detroit. I know that the price is big here, and you could make a case for the Red Wings, but I will sit back and watch this game very closely because I want to see how our Wings handle this game before I start betting them against the upper echelon teams in this league. When they're playing the Kings, I have no problem betting Detroit. We're significantly stepping up in class here, so I want to see how these kids handle themselves first in a game like this.
Of course, a little bit of a rougher, tougher team in the Vegas Golden Knights. Going to see if these Wings are boneless or not. Alex, do you want to have any input on this one or what?
No, I can't follow that up. I'm done. That's it for this game. But no, I don't have anything either. I agree with what So Money said. The Wings are not a team I'm looking to fade from their hot start. There's some teams that I think have started really well that I'm not buying into. The Wings are one that I am buying into a little bit more, which is impressive because I was pretty low on them coming into the season. So I had to quickly adjust and admit that I was wrong here, which I'm more than happy to do because I'm wrong often. And if you're not able to admit that you're wrong, you're going to be falling behind in this game. So yeah, I think the Wings are a lot better than I thought, and tough spot for them though. That's the only way I could bet this game, but I'm not looking to do it here. Vegas had a really tough schedule so far. I'll give them that. They played a lot of great teams, so it's hard to put like too much stock into their overall numbers. You kind of have to take them a little bit more on like a case by case basis here. So I still think they're fine. Ultimately, not going to bet this game.
All right, let's move on. Talk Florida Panthers taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Florida minus 162 right now on the money line. Kind of has struggled a little bit to start this year, but still look good in my opinion, at least. Totals at 6.5 minus 138. Alex, I'll let you lead the way here. Anything you like?
Yeah, nothing at current. It's too bad. I went to bed last night and I looked at those Panthers openers at like minus 135 that were out there. I was like, oh man, what number is this? I hope this is around in the morning. And you wake up in the morning and it's still there at like minus 140. And then I'm like, okay, maybe this sticks around till showtime. And no, it did not stick around till showtime, unfortunately. I think the Panthers are playing really good hockey despite their like 500 record right now. I wrote about that in the newsletter on Monday. I like this Panthers team quite a bit still. And they've shown that when they when they need to dig deep and turn in a good performance, when they want to show like, hey, we're still the Panthers, they've been able to do that no problem. So I like them. I liked them here at previous numbers. I don't think I can justify betting them at the minus 160s that are widely available right now. Ducks, I have been high on them, but like there's going to still be some growing pains. And we haven't still seen them. We've seen them win games. We haven't seen them reach the level they need to be at to win games consistently, or to at least have faith that they're going to win games consistently. So I thought Florida deserved a lot better when these two teams played last week, and it was also, I think, Tarasov starting in that game. So a little bit of a different situation here. Like the Panthers, do not like the Panthers anymore, though. If it somehow comes back at one point, you get minus 140-ish, even minus 145 or better, I think I'd bet them again, but nothing occurred.
All right. Hopefully we can get some money back in on the Ducks. Tough to see. You guys know the market a little bit better than me, but if you can find the Panthers anywhere at like minus 140, 145-ish, you're going to want to take it. So money. You like anything here?
I do, but I need to wait a bit because I want to make sure that Dostal is confirmed. I'm not seeing that confirmation. I think he'll play, but it's one of those things where he's great, right? And like he's really starting to come into his own now. He's one of the secrets in the NHL right now. We're starting to hear more about him, and I think as the year goes on, we're gonna see just how good he is. So I do like the under here. I think that playing a Ducks under, it does scare me because they still do give up quite a bit defensively, but Dostal is also able to mask a lot of that. So I do need him in net. Once I get that confirmation, then I'll play the under. If I don't get that, then that's something that I'm going to sit out.
All right, last game on the board here. Winnipeg Jets taking on the Los Angeles Kings. Kings right now, favorites at home, minus 128 over at FanDuel. So money, I'll let you close this one out. Talk us through this game.
Yeah, it should come as no surprise. I waited for this number to get a little bit high. I'm going to be betting the Jets here.
Yeah.
The Kings suck, right? Like I don't know how many more ways I can say this every week. I don't like them. I don't like the moves they made in the offseason. There's a lot of things I don't like about this team. And it's not to say that I think I'm very high on the Jets, because I'm not that either. But I think in this situation with them getting Lowry back, he really solidifies what they want to do up the middle. I think that's going to help them a lot in this game. And it's not even as if the Kings have been playing poorly. They've been playing fine the last couple of games. They just haven't gotten the results. And I don't think that Winnipeg in this matchup is the type of team that's necessarily going to allow them to play their game. So I do like the Jets here. I'm fine with the current numbers. I just think that, I think we've like hit the peak here. So I will be betting the Jets here shortly.
All right, plus 106 right now over at FanDuel. Alex, you waiting as well to bet the Jets here, or are you just going to take this 106 that's available?
I like the Jets, which is crazy because I was dying to fade this team every way I could not too long ago. But I talked about how like Lowry coming back for them is so significant, and now Lowry is going to be back tonight. He just shifts everyone down into their more appropriate roles up front, which is massive. I mean, they needed that in a big way. I am pretty much at the point where I'm fully out on the Kings. I bet against them on Saturday. I'm willing to admit that. I mean, I still love this group up front. Like, I really, really love this group up front. If they're able to like make some trades and acquire another top 4 D-man and kind of shift guys down, maybe get someone out of the lineup, but like you can't have like Mikey Anderson, Joel Edmondson, Dumoulin, and CC in your top 6 and be competitive against good teams in this league. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I did bet the Jets in this game. I also now that the over has taken quite a bit of money, I'm starting to get pretty interested in an under here. At these like bigger plus money 5.5s. I mean, the Jets have been much stingier on the road, and I don't think their overall numbers are a good representation of this team because a lot of it is matchup dependent, and getting Lowry is going to make their, shift their matchups a little bit and help their forwards, be a bit more effective in their own end. And on the road against these sort of better teams, quote unquote, although, the jury's out on the Kings, but like they were a playoff team last year. They're still kind of viewed as a good team. The Jets are going to play that, that stingier style, rely on Hellebuck and just kind of take their chances at the other end. So I do like the unders. I was kind of waiting to see if we had any sixes flash at any point. Maybe we get there, but plus money 5.5. I'm good with it. And I agree I'm on the Jets here as well. It takes a lot for me to bet the Jets in this day and age, but they are playing a little bit better, and now getting Lowry back. I think that we've dripped. I'm honestly very surprised at how much money the Kings have taken today, because they haven't really shown anything to warrant taking that much money.
All right. That wraps up today's show. Seems like we're fading the Kings here, taking the Jets at plus 104, which just ticked from 106 over at FanDuel. Before we head out, though, Jets, Flyers. Is there a third team you want to add to our little underdog money line parlay? Just two teams. I know you guys like both those teams as underdogs. Bruins. There we go. Jets
and Oilers. I mean, you know, if we wanted, but we got a lot of options here.
What do you want? Do you guys want to do 4 teams?
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
why not?
let's click through it here, Jacob. So Jets, Flyers, and then Bruins, Jets, Flyers, Bruins, and Oilers. So Jets, Flyers, Bruins, Oilers. Combine those all together, and you can get them at 21-1 over at FanDuel. Maybe you do some round robins as well. Maybe you do some, we did really well last week when we did this. I believe 3 of 4 won, and it was
we did.
It was the pesky Leafs that ruined things, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And a game they did not deserve to win.
No, not at all. I feel like they haven't deserved to win many of their games this season.
A good point.
But hey, they have. Anyways, that wraps up today's show. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Alex, so money, before you guys head out, one question. I'm going to the Leafs game tomorrow. So anything you like in that game that I can just bet right now?
Well, we won't have prices, but
no, there's prices at FanDuel. That's why I'm asking.
Is there?
Yeah. Leafs minus 178 right now. On the money line, plus 146 for the Mammoth. Minus 1.5 is at plus 136. 6.5 total. Juice towards the under, minus 122.
Plus 146. I think you're insane not to take the Jets. Not the Mammoth. Even Vanacek in net. I know it's a back-to-back, but like Vanacek's been fine. That's the Leafs can't the Leafs can't lay that number anymore. Like they just can't. Not against good teams, especially.
Especially at home.
Like they're just not like. Did you see them play last night? I don't know. Like 3 goals on 4 shots, doesn't exactly like make me want to start buying into this team or believing in them. Obviously, they still have some elite talent, but like overall, this is a team with a pretty weak defensive core. 0 contributions from the bottom 6, some holes in the top 6, and Stolar is not playing as well as he was last year, because obviously it was always going to be tough to reach that level. So I think. Personally, I think that number is not going to close anywhere near that on Utah tomorrow, even given the situation on the back-to-back advantage in that.
All right, I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that minus 2.5, minus 3.5 then for the Utah Mammoth as well. Appreciate you guys joining the show. So money, Alex, we'll chat soon.
Sounds good.
All right, awesome stuff there, guys. Let's get some ones in the chat for Edgework. Let's get some fists in the chat for Edgework. Do this because you guys love it. We do it because you love it. So, good stuff there. Appreciate you guys joining the show today. Before we head out, just a quick rundown of what's happened in the NFL so far. We saw Sauce Gardner get traded for 2 first-round picks. What are we doing here? Don't know about that one. Is that it? Was it only 2 first?
2 first-round picks and AD Mitchell.
Oh wow, doesn't really move the needle for me much.
No. Well, it's an overpay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Still think it's a lot.
And
they gave what? Yeah. What am I saying? That's like even more. Yeah. I don't get that.
Rashid Shaheed for a 4th and a 5th, I think it was.
Okay, I like. I just don't know if contract situation is important context here, and I don't know if Shaheed is in his last year of his deal.
I can look it up.
But yeah,
and we had
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers for a 4th and a 6th.
Yeah, if I had to rank them from best side to worst side, I would say Jets clear far and away winners of the trade deadline already. We'll see if they can trade Breece Hall too, and like get. I mean, 2 firsts for Ahmad Gardner is just crazy work. I know it's kind of tough to compare to Travis Hunter because he's also wide receiver. But they gave last two players that were traded for 2 firsts were Travis Hunter, who I honestly think that is better than Sauce Gardner as a player in terms of contract value because you're going to have him for 4 years on a rookie deal. And then Micah Parsons. Like, what? You could have just gotten Micah Parsons instead, one of the best players in the league. So, yeah.
The site I usually use for contracts is not working because it's trade deadline day. People are on it. So I think it's the last year of his contract.
Okay, if
somebody help me out. But
if they can keep Shaheed, I really like that for them. If they can get out from Cooper Kupp, they really wanted to get a field stretcher in there. When they brought in MVS, they tried to use Torrey Horton. Still looks good, but maybe you can use Horton out of the slot now instead of Kupp and use Shaheed as a field stretcher, or vice versa. Torrey Horton, use him as your X and put what's his name? Rashid Shaheed. So anyways, just deep threats all around. Love this passing offense. And Kubiak is familiar with Shaheed, was the former OC for the New Orleans Saints. Anyways, that wraps up today's show. Curious if you guys have any opinions in the chat. You can let us know. I'll be responding post-show if you guys have any opinions on those trades. If you like Edge section, let us know in the chat. Drop a 1 or drop a fist. Up next at the Hammer, like I mentioned earlier in the show, Best Bets. Forward Progress HQ. Find that at 5 p.m. Eastern with Flup, with G-Stack. Done a great job so far this year. Anyways, that wraps up for today's show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Before you head out there, just one more favor. Smash that like button. Click, click. Takes 2 seconds. If you're on your phone, tap. All you got to do. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. This has been the Tuesday, November 4th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.